Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our men advanced Bible study night. It's the 4th of July, 2025. Okay. We'll be dealing with the angel Gabriel. And then we talked about Naaman a little bit last night. So I'm gonna bring that over into this conversation also tonight. We'll chop it up and see what the men got to say about it. Okay. You can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos you can listen to, examine, get the meat out. These scriptures, these videos will lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. And we have our Cash App at the bottom of the screen in case you want to help the channel move along. That too will be greatly appreciated. Okay. This is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Savior and our Redeemer and our Deliverer, Lord of Hosts. Okay. This channel was created to aid and assist all Hebrews who are waking up in these last days before our regathering to their true identity. Shalom and welcome to the channel, and welcome to our men's advanced Bible study. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, Psalms, current events. We have some need to know information. We open it up for some Q&A. Then we have a little dialogue. Then we go into our topic for discussion, which is we'll be listen to the video, and then we'll break down Trump's plan for deporting American citizens. We're going to listen to that and break it down. And then, like I said, we'll be dealing with Gabriel and Naaman. And if we have time, we'll deal with a little bit of some revelations I got on Daniel. Okay, then we'll pick a scripture out of our books, and then we'll break it down. Then we'll close out. Okay. It's a moment of silence for the Lord of Hosts and all that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay. Oh Lord, we come before Thee at this time that You have set aside for Your Sabbath day that You have given unto us for rest. And we are thankful for the knowledge and the understanding that You have given us up until this point. When we seek Thy face on this Sabbath, that You shower us, excuse me, with peace and enlightenment and a sense of togetherness. Oh Lord, we see Thy hand in the affairs of the world. We know and understand that what You have spoken in the past will surely come to pass. Turn not Thy face from us at this moment, but hearken unto this plea. Hearken, O Lord, and do. All praises to You. Okay. With that being said, we're going to read the Psalms.
Yes, sir. Shalom. Shalom, everybody. I'm going to be reading Psalms 96, the greatness of the Lord. Oh, sing unto the Lord a new song. Sing unto the Lord all the earth. Sing unto the Lord. Bless His name. Show forth His salvation from day to day. Declare His glory among the heathen, His wonders among all people. For the Lord is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Honor and majesty are before Him. Strength and beauty are in His sanctuary. Give unto the Lord, O ye kindreds of the people. Give unto the Lord glory and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto His name. Bring an offering and come into His courts. O worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. Fear before Him all the earth. Say among the heathen that the Lord reigneth. The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved or shaken. He shall judge the people righteously. Let the heavens rejoice, and let the earth be glad. Let the sea roar, and the fullness thereof. Let the field be joyful, and all that is therein. Then shall all the trees of the wood rejoice before the Lord, for he cometh to judge the earth. He shall judge the world with righteousness, and the people with his truth. Shalom. That's Psalm 96.
Okay, yeah. So we see right there. You got any comments on that?
Oh, go ahead, Brother Leonard.
Yeah, we see right there who the judge is.
Right.
We're making it clear. But look at that what the first verse was you read.
Sing unto the Lord a new song. Sing unto the Lord all the earth. Sing unto the Lord, bless his name. Show forth his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory among the heathen, then his wonders among all people. For the Lord is great and greatly to be praised, for he is to be feared above all gods.
Right.
For,
So
right.
we see all those characteristics belong to Michael, right?
Yeah, right. Yes, sir.
Be feared, he's the judge. All those they are assuming it's Yahweh, but it's the Lord of hosts. Okay.
Right.
You got anything on that?
And just also in verse 6 that his honor and majesty are before him, strength and beauty are in his sanctuary. You know, that's the temple in Jerusalem. That's here on earth. That's Michael temple, not the Most High.
Exactly. Right. Okay. You got anything on that, Cameron? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm just soaking it in, man.
Okay.
I ain't got nothing.
Okay. It's all good. Yeah. So we can go to our current events. Yeah, I've been dealing with that South Africa thing, One Africa, and so all of a sudden now we got let me play it. My man Ramaphosa. He's going against it.
Breaking. Ramaphosa backs down from One Africa government. Is One Africa doomed? By Secunda Mapika Supreme Affairs breaking news. Tisu Van Vacho. The people are watching, and so is the future. Part 1. The tension that broke the silence. In what insiders are calling a strategic pause, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is said to have stepped back from making a formal public endorsement of the One Africa government during this month's African Union virtual session. This move comes amid political noise back home, with several South African groups, especially fringe nationalist and xenophobic voices, rising up to say, we don't want a united Africa that brings everyone to South Africa. The result? Ramaphosa's usual vocal support was missing. But does this mean One Africa government is falling apart?
Get summer ready at Verizon. All new and existing customers.
This is the part most people don't see. Behind closed doors, ANC insiders, DA backbenchers, business chambers, and AU diplomats are still full steam ahead. The train has not stopped. It's just avoiding a collision with bad optics. Part 2. The source of the backlash. South Africa has long battled waves of xenophobia. From 2008 to 2015, several riots targeted immigrants from Zimbabwe, Malawi, Somalia, Nigeria, and DRC. Economic frustration, unemployment, and misinformation often fuel these tensions. So when the African Union began rolling out clearer frameworks for the One Africa government, including freedom of movement, continental ID, and business visa harmonization, some groups cried foul. Misunderstandings spread fast. They want to open borders so everyone can come to South Africa. We will lose our jobs. South Africa will be the dumping ground. None of these are true. In fact, the One Africa government plan is about equalizing growth so that people don't need to migrate for survival. But when fear takes hold, logic takes a backseat. What Ramaphosa actually did, instead of giving a major televised speech backing the new AU executive proposals, Ramaphosa issued a toned-down statement praising African cooperation and partnership, but did not use the phrase One Africa government. His team, according to SABN sources, decided it was best to cool public tensions first. Internal polling reportedly showed a small spike in anti-AU sentiment on local social media platforms like X, formerly Twitter and Facebook, fueled by sensationalized posts. To protect national unity, the message was, Pause, not reject. But what happened behind the scenes tells a very different story. Part 4. ANC still on board, quietly pushing forward. According to a senior ANC policymaker who spoke to SABN under anonymity, the party remains fully supportive of the One Africa government process. What the president has done is a cooling measure, but ANC internal structures, from the Youth League to the National Executive, still believe this is the future of Africa and the region. Another source confirmed that ANC think tanks have submitted new proposals to the AU's Policy Affairs Department on cross-border industrial zones, shared education certification, African military peace missions. This means, even as Ramaphosa cools the public tone, the strategy remains alive behind the curtain. Part 5. DA's capitalist support, a surprising alliance. The Democratic Alliance, DA, often positioned as ANC's rival, has quietly backed parts of the One Africa government vision, especially where it benefits business. A DA-aligned economist told SABN, "We have major South African companies like ShopRite, MTN, Nando's, and MultiChoice operating across the continent. A streamlined government system, one trade zone, and a digital Afro-gold currency helps South African capitalism flourish." He added, "Even if our voters don't understand the AU, we do." In other words, Ramaphosa is facing criticism not from his political rivals, but from fear-based narratives that aren't grounded in economics. Balance. Cyril Ramaphosa is nearing the end of his presidency. What he does now matters for how history will remember him. Will he be the man who hesitated, or the leader who balanced diplomacy and domestic calm? Some insiders say he will speak openly in favor of One Africa government once local elections in 2026 are over. Until then, his job is to unite South Africans behind the bigger vision without losing votes. Part 11. South African business power. South African corporations are already structured for continental dominance. MTN operates in 17 countries. ShopRite has branches in 14 African nations. Sasol, Naspers, and Sanlam all have African partnerships. These companies are preparing to benefit from the Afro-Gold digital clearing system, Pan-African banking licenses, AU-led investment dispute resolution tribunals. Business, unlike politics, is moving fast. Part 12. What comes next? The AU will meet again in October to finalize phase 1 of the One Africa government. This includes ID harmonization, continental education transfer credits, creation of the Afro Defense Command, final legal draft of the Afro-Gold currency. South Africa's delegates have confirmed they will attend and fully engage. Whether or not Ramaphosa speaks loudly, South Africa is still in the room. Part 13. Voices from the streets. SABN gathered social media reactions. We need jobs and security. If One Africa means more investment, then I support it. I was worried about the migrants thing, but now I see it's about trade and currency. Our leaders must explain better. My uncle sells maize to Mozambique. One Africa government will make that easier. Count me in.
Okay. Any comments on that? What you think?
Shalom. Brother Leonard, when I was listening last night to the women's class, I think it said it's officially kicking off in February, right? So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right. So this is going right along with it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, it's moving at breakneck speed.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. Yeah, Pan-Africanism. Keep that in mind. Okay. So here we go. Check this out.
It's a big day in the United States. The country is celebrating its Independence Day, and this one is special because it kicks off a year-long festival. You see, 2026 marks 250 years of American independence, so President Donald Trump has big plans. He wants to organize multiple events leading up to the next 4th of July, and one of them is a UFC fight. Now, UFC stands for Ultimate Fighting Championship. It's basically a martial arts league. And guess where this fight is going to happen? Not in Las Vegas, not in New York. President Trump wants it at the White House.
We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little. We're not. Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. We're going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also.
Forget somber reflection. Trump wants to see men and women beat each other to pulp. And the absurdity does not end here. We just told you about Trump's big, beautiful bill. He wants a fly past as he signs it. And not just any fly past. This one will include lethal warplanes, the B-2 bomber, the F-35 fighter jet, and the F-22 Raptor. These planes will fly over the White House as the president signs the bill. Just a casual $2 million fly past. We hope it's better than his military parade last month, because that was a snooze fest. Now, we've heard people talk about celebrating the 4th of July, but what exactly are they celebrating? The loss of allies, the school shootings, the abortion bans, or the global humiliations? Let's start with the last one. In February, Donald Trump hosted Ukraine's president at the White House. It was supposed to be a meeting. Instead, it became a shouting match. The whole world watched as Trump and his officials ganged up on their guest.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering
position to
this question.
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
He did the same to Europe. Trump officials accused Europe of killing free speech. They mocked them for depending on the United States. Well, congratulations. Europe is moving away from Washington. It has unveiled a multi-billion-dollar plan for self-defense. Of course, it wasn't all bad. Trump gained a few allies on the way too, like former Al-Qaeda terrorist Ahmad al-Shara. He used to be sanctioned by the United Nations, but after capturing power in Syria, Trump decided to meet him, and his assessment that al-Shara was a good-looking guy.
Right, I think very good. Young, attractive guy, tough guy. It happens. Strong pass. Very strong pass fighter. But he's got a real shot at holding it together.
Mexico.
First post now available in 9 languages.
Okay, so what you think about that? You want to have a UFC fight at the White House? Want that song?
Shalom, Brother Leonard. I think that's showing us the signs of the times, because something like that wouldn't happen publicly back in the day, to my knowledge. But then also too, Dana White, he had introduced Dana White when he won or got inaugurated or something. So
Exactly, right.
yeah, so they got that connection though. I do know that he supports the MAGA or whatever.
Exactly, right. He do, yeah. Ain't that so? Okay. So they passed that big beautiful bill, right?
Right, yes, sir.
Okay, let's check this out.
History, but history right now is happening right here in front of us, and so let's cover it. The reckoning has begun. If you think this won't affect you, congratulations, you're exactly who it's coming for. Trump voters may keep looking away, but the damage is already here. That so-called big, beautiful budget, it's not a budget. It's Project 2025 in disguise, a full authoritarian blueprint dressed up as fiscal policy, and it's about to hit you where it hurts. Let's break it down. When disaster strikes, no one's coming. Sections 80307 to 80309/climate resilience and FEMA funding. Floods, wildfire, hurricanes, no federal help. Your town will burn, drown, or blow away, and all you'll hear is silence. When your healthcare vanishes, that's in the bill too. Sections 44141, 44122, and 44131 Add work requirements for Medicaid. If you miss a form, you lose coverage. If you're in a blue state, your funding gets cut. And veterans, they'll face longer waits, fewer doctors, and less mental health support, while Trump brags about how much he spent at his golf course. Gender-affirming care, banned. Even for those who serve this country, if you're undocumented or simply poor, Section 44110, make sure you won't get care either. Your hospital may shut down, and when you need a doctor, you'll find that the service no longer exists. And your grocery bill, that's going up too. Trump's tariffs combined with the cuts to food assistance in sections 10008 and 10012 mean higher prices for produce, gas, and everyday goods. And yes, the neighborhood could lose their SNAP benefits at age 64. What about the institutions holding your town together? Section 50002 and 50003, gut funding and oversight. Say goodbye to your pharmacy, post office, or bank, and don't expect anyone to fix it. Then there's your job. Sections 90004 through 90006 allow a massive civil service purge. You could be fired and replaced with an unqualified loyalist, and your pension slashed. Education not spared. Section 30061 bans DEI programs. Your daughter's school will stop teaching critical thinking and start teaching obedience. If she's not white, wealthy, or male, she's left behind. And the books, gone. The federal government will now decide what's woke and erase anything inconvenient, especially your history. Energy protections were repealed. Sections 42108 and 42301 dismantled the clean air laws, opening the door for wildfires, blackouts, and toxic pollution. Your 401k, don't get comfortable. Wall Street doesn't like chaos, and this bill delivers plenty. Markets will tank, and your retirement fund will go with it. Section 20001 escalates Indo-Pacific conflict. Trump lights the match, and your kid gets the draft notice. Section 44125 removes the LGBTQ protections and access to care. Gay, trans, and non-binary Americans denied services, expelled from school, pushed out of public life. And while billionaires get MAGA-branded savings accounts, you can't even file your taxes for free. They're cutting food, healthcare, and education to fund tanning bed tax breaks. They even slashed child tax credits and funding for childcare. You're expected to work more with less help and higher cost. Your community center closed. Your summer programs cut. Sections 41009 and 80301 wipe out block grants, historic preservation, and public parks. The professionals who make government work fired. Section 90004 to 90006 dismantle civil service protections. Scientists, disaster coordinators, public health experts replaced by political hacks who do whatever they're told. Section 44001 bans states from regulating AI, education, tech, or data privacy for 10 years. That means your state can't protect you from tech giants even if it wants to. And just in case you were hoping someone somewhere might hold power accountable, sections 50002 and 5003 and 80121 got oversight agencies, the people who catch fraud, investigate pollution, and monitor corporate crime. They're being shut down. Even states that expanded Medicaid get penalized under the section 44131. If your governor tried to help you, this bill punishes them for it. And Trump said it himself. I have the right to do whatever I want. This bill gives him that power using your tax dollars. This is not a warning. This is happening. It's theft wrapped in a flag. It's censorship, cruelty, control, and collapse. Call your senators at 202-224-3121. Tell them this isn't patriotism. It's pillage. And if you've been silent, now is the time to speak. Because very soon, this won't be about politics. This will be about survival. It's crazy.
Okay, what you think? Any comments on that? Sound like doomsday to me.
Right, yes, sir. All that's going on. Why would you want to stay here?
It's
Exactly.
getting rough out here.
Exactly. And they already shown. We already seen what he done the first 100 days. Imagine what this big beautiful beard gonna do. Like the guy said, this ain't number Project 25 on steroids. Is that something? Okay.
Right, yes, sir.
So with that being said, we're gonna open it up for anybody with any questions, comments, any dialogue. Anybody got anything they want to talk about? They came across. You want to chop it up?
Hey, Brother Leonard, shalom. So my book finally came. My book finally came in, and I've been reading in the book of Enoch, and
Okay.
I was wondering, the Lord of Spirits is the Lord of Hosts, or is that Yahweh?
That's Yahweh.
The Lord of Spirits is Yahweh.
Yeah.
Okay.
A
And
spirit is an angel.
what'd you say?
A spirit is an angel.
Okay. Lord of got you. Also, when it's talking about Aziel, where is he like on the ranks of he's a part of the fallen angels, right?
Yeah, he's a part of those 200 that came down. Yeah.
Okay. Is he like second in command of Satan or Samuel or?
Well, when you look at that, I talked about it a little bit a couple months ago. They got those were leaders. All 200 of them was leaders. Some of them was leaders over 10. Some of them was leaders over 100. Some of them was leaders over 1,000.
Okay.
We go back to, like I was telling you, what Jethro told Moses to do. He told Moses to mediate out the judgments. He said, get some righteous men, put some of them over 10, put some of them over 100, some of them over 1,000. So Jethro got that from what's in heaven.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I say obviously Jethro got it from Abraham because he's
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, man. I can tell I'm gonna have to probably read through the book of Enoch like one or two times, like 2 or 3 times, man.
Exactly.
It's deep, man. Like and another question is he having these visions or while he sleep, or this ain't happening like in real life? It's like happening like in his vision. Is he sleep while this is all being taken in place, or?
Well, he's having that's where they got it from in the New Testament. Remember when John said that he found himself in heaven, his spirit left his body, and he ended up in heaven. So that's where they got it from. But he's having out of body experiences. The angels had the ability to do that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He having visions, but some of it is he's being taken up to heaven.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay,
man. Being taken up and shown everything.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I when I've been even though I haven't been on the line, I've been doing a lot of studying, man. I watched I listened to the what is it, Tanakh and the Illuminati. It was like a part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
And that was mind blowing, man.
Okay.
That was that was mind blowing. The video that you played in the part 1 and part 2, that dude, he was spilling all the beans.
Oh yeah, exactly.
He was spilling all the beans, and just for you to even though we don't subscribe to the New Testament, when you told me that basically today's Jews they're like the lineage of King Herod.
Yeah.
That blew my mind, man. I was like, wow. It's like you just helped me connect all these dots, man. And I appreciate it, man. For real, man.
It's all good. Man, you got anything, AJ?
Oh, shalom, yes, sir. I had I was listening to the same. I was listening to one of the old classes to the Zerubbabel weekend you had did.
Oh yeah.
Right, you know, a few years ago, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I had forgot about that because I had forgot about the Zerubbabel book, and so I've been reading it, and so it's not that many pages, but I wanted to read these few verses because things like this, it shows me why they took it out. You know, obviously there's a lot of stuff that ain't true in the book, but they took little stuff like this out that speaks exactly to who the Lord of hosts is. So
Right.
it says, and it don't even got chapters or whatever, but in the PDF that I got is page 18, and it says, and I asked him, when will the light of Israel come? And as I was speaking to him, behold, a man with two wings approached me and said to me, Zerubbabel. And I answered him, and I asked when the appointed time for deliverance is supposed to come. Asked me, he replied, and I will tell you. And I said to him, Sir, who are you? And he answered and said, I am Michael, the one who delivered good news to Sarah. I am the leader of the host of Israel. I am the Lord God, the one who battled with Sennacherib and smote 180,000 men. I am the prince of Israel, the one who fought the battles against the kings of Canaan. In the time to come, I will fight the battles of the Lord alongside the Messiah. Yeah, that's some of that is let me skip down a little bit, and then it says here, Brother Leonard, and the Lord appointed me, and it said, and the Lord appointed me to be the commanding officer over his people and over those who love him, in order to do battle against the leaders of all nations. And Michael continued talking and answered me and said, I am the angel who guided Abraham throughout all of the land of Canaan. I blessed him in the name of the Lord. I am the one who redeemed Isaac and wept for him. I am the one who wrestled with Jacob at the crossing of the Jabbok. I am the one who guided Israel in the wilderness for 40 years in my name. And I am the one who appeared to Joshua at Gilgal. And I am the one who rained down brimstone and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah. And that, I just wanted to read that, Brother Lynn.
Oh yeah, it don't get no plainer than that. You said
Hey,
the
what-
PDF.
Hey, AJ, what is it? Where's that at?
Yeah,
I need all of that.
Yeah,
that is perfect.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it right now. But yeah,
It-
yes. So when I was listening to the classes, so those classes are from October 2023. It's like from that week, like October 28th, 29th, like that weekend, like the classes from Thursday, Friday, the 2 on Saturday, and then it was one but the one Friday night on the men's night was on Clubhouse.
Right.
Cam, I'm gonna have to send you the Clubhouse stuff. But
yeah, I gotta find what you just read.
yeah, I'll send the PDF to y'all.
Please,
right, but I was listening to that class. I was like, oh, I done forgot all about that. That.
Yeah, I ain't got that far yet, man.
Yeah,
I haven't got that far yet.
Yeah, ain't that something?
Right.
Yeah,
yes,
I need to check that out. That PDF, man. It don't get no plainer than that.
Right.
Well, yeah. So, like I said before, what people don't understand is the word got scattered just like we did. The precept got scattered. That's what people don't understand. You might find anywhere, or they scattered them all over the place. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, like I said, we're gonna play this here. This is the dialogue. Then I'm gonna go to my topic for discussion. I'll play this first. Let me play it.
Deeply.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy you just played that because based on what I'm getting ready to deal with, so that's gonna go right along with what I'm getting ready to deal with. But I'm gonna play this first.
Confused about all of this. Where is the American century? It's supposed to last at least to 2041, if not 2141. And suddenly it's not there. So we are in a highly neurotic state right now, very agitated. And it's hard to find someone to sit down and say, calm down, it's okay. No one's taking away your good life. China's not invading you. China's not a threat. It is very successful, but you should enjoy that success, not bemoan that success. And so the added factor that we're facing right now is a reaction, a very deep and very unsettling reaction to this loss of leadership in the U.S. I have to say that most of the conflicts that we're experiencing now, whether it is in the Middle East or whether it is in Ukraine or the tensions in East Asia, have the U.S. always as one of the causes of those conflicts. But most of the conflicts result actually in a deep way from the exaggerated U.S. perception of its ability to dictate terms to others around the world. And this is what the United States did not understand, that it could not simply tell Russia, we do as we want in Ukraine or in other neighbors of Russia, because Russia does not want the U.S. military bases on its borders any more than the United States would want Russian military bases in the Western Hemisphere. But the U.S. could not understand the reciprocity of that, or the golden rule dimension: do not do to others what you would not have done to you. And so we did not understand that. And many of the other crises have this characteristic. What's dramatic is how ineffective, unfortunately, the United States is at facing this right now. This is why we have this tariff eruption, which is a complete sideshow, not a real event. It's a sideshow because raising tariffs has nothing to do with what the United States needs. It's not a solution for anything. And that's why they lasted 2 days, and the stock market collapsed and the bond market collapsed, and somebody came in to explain to the president, you better stop that. And it lasted vis-a-vis China for about 8 weeks, because China said, we will match what you're doing, and then the United States backed down from that as well. So that's an example of what I would call a completely dysfunctional reaction to a reality, which is that the United States cannot dominate events. Donald Trump thought that the US market is so important, so dominant, that no country could do anything but bend its knee and bend to the US will. And this is simply not correct. It's not a proper understanding. The US market for imports is only about 13% of world imports now. So you could close off the US market entirely, and the rest of the world would figure out how to get along pretty well indeed. And that is that Asia has ended a long period of domination by Europe and by the United States of the world economy. And Asia has restored its place as the center of gravity of the world economy, the place that Asia has had for most of the last 2,000 years, actually, with the interruption of the period of the Industrial Revolution, which came first to Europe. It was the engine, if I could put it that way, of European imperialism. Roughly 250 years of European dominance, and that period is ending. And in fact, it is that rapid catching up of Asia and the geopolitical changes that are caused by that rapid catching up that give the sense of the profound disruption and uncertainty of our time. But because the underlying reason for this change is the rapid development of this part of the world, Northeast Asia, Southeast Asia, Western Asia, the countries that will be meeting in the coming week. Even though this change is very disruptive, it is not a cause of panic, but rather, when one steps back, a cause for optimism. Because what has happened is that a world that was profoundly divided by power and technology is now truly a multipolar world, in which the United States and Europe, no doubt, remain very sophisticated societies, very powerful societies, but no longer dominant societies of the world. We've entered the age truly of multipolarity. That's a big challenge, but it's also a wonderful fact and great opportunity, and has been in recent decades. We have, of course, had 40 years of remarkable growth of the People's Republic of China. We have rapid growth throughout most, though not all, of ASEAN. We now have India growing at 6 to 7% per year, the fastest growth rate, in fact, of a major economy in the world. That's a major change as well underway. And we see that kind of rapid economic development in other parts of Asia. I'll indicate in just a few minutes that I think the same will happen in Africa, which is by far the most laggard region of the world economy for many reasons of history and physical geography. But this will be an age in the next 40 years of rapid economic development in Africa as well. We are in what I call America's cultural revolution. That's not a good thing. Cultural revolutions do not go well. They set back China for 20 years, in effect, and the United States yesterday banished foreign students from Harvard University. That's not a joke. That's insane.
Okay. Any comments on that? Okay. See what we got by here. So yeah, I said that I was gonna deal with Trump's plans. The topic is Trump's plans to deport American citizens. So like I said before, we already know who these American citizens are gonna be. They're just doing a little step-by-step skit in order to get to where they want to really where they want to be at, which is Israel. So let's do that. Play this right here. Okay. So here we go.
We look forward to the success of this facility here. How many more facilities like this do you feel that the country needs in order to enact your agenda of mass deportations?
Well, I think we'd like to see them in many states, really many states. This one, I know Ron's doing a second one, at least a second one, and probably a couple of more. And you know, at some point they might morph into a system where you're going to keep it for a long time.
So yes, he said what he just said. He's talking about getting American citizens. You already know who he's talking about. Yep. He's talking about Hebrew, Hispanics, the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. DeSantis and Trump just say Florida's the model, and they want to see this pick up in every other city. Well, the Christian pastors, where they at to discuss the antics of Trump and DeSantis? You don't find that suspicious, and you're not going to see it. You're not going to see. I challenge all you apologetics, pathetics. Where are you at with your videos about what Trump is doing to the so-called Haitians, to the so-called Mexicans? Where you at? It dialogues everybody. Right. It's obvious you don't think it dialogues everybody because you attack us. Right. Devils.
Okay.
Or U.S. citizens now. With Trump saying that we have a lot of bad people who were born here and that he thinks we should get them out of here, right? And that also comes as you have the DOJ saying its top priority is to strip citizenship from people. And that, as today you had Trump unveiling his new immigration detention facility that's being called Alligator Alcatraz. With it's definitely not a camp reportedly housing 5,000 people. Trump then seemingly gloating over the idea of people there getting eaten by alligators and saying, I guess that's the concept. Also, Florida's attorney general seemed to take pride in the idea of people being killed by pythons or crocodiles, right? And that, as you had Trump saying he wants more of these facilities all across the nation, believing that it should be a model for the nation and saying that it could morph into a system. Also, I shit you not, the Florida Republican Party is selling merch for this facility, right? And all of this is today with
That's the same thing. Find a postcard with gator bait. Wow. So go back. Can you rewind? They're selling merch for alligator Alcatraz. Wow. These are the same devils that had our forefathers in slavery, y'all. Say that again.
System. Also,
pause. You see that thing right there? Alligator Alcatraz merchandise. Wow. Merch. And let me know where y'all find that, IT. Okay. All right. So y'all close or what? Okay, they almost got it. So they're pulling it up. Showing you these devils is the same devils from back then. There's no, give me that in Ecclesiastes 4:16. All right, pull it up when you got it, IT. Ecclesiastes 4:16. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 16.
Go ahead.
There is no end of all the people.
Right, there's no end of all the people. Put that on the screen. Come on, read.
Even of all that have been before them.
Right, even of all that have been before them. Go ahead.
They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit.
These are the same devils who used to feed our babies to alligators.
Right.
See how they got the postcard?
Right.
Now go back to alligator Alcatraz. Come on. Put that up. The video. There you go. Now they got merch. They're selling merch for alligator Alcatraz. You see that?
Yes,
their people's not going there.
Right.
It's our people that's going there. Take that off the screen. Now pull up the next video. Pull up the next video. We almost done, y'all. You got the timestamp? All right, read that.
Trump floats possibility of deporting American citizens.
Wait, read it again.
Trump floats possibility of deporting American citizens.
All right. Wow. Just when you thought you was comfortable.
They thought they were saying.
Just when you thought you was comfortable.
All right.
Play that.
To happen. It was an auto pen maybe that allowed it to happen. And it did happen, but we also have a lot of bad people that have been here for a long time. People that whack people over the head with a baseball bat from behind when they're not looking and kill them. People that knife you when you're walking down the street. They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here too. You want to know the truth. So maybe that'll be the next job that we'll work on together.
See that? And he's not saying that for no reason, y'all. American citizens, you already know who he's talking about.
Yep, yes, sir.
He's talking about you blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. The Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right. Darker persuasion.
You understand? Wow. Now, let's get a verse. Finish that in Ecclesiastes, then we get another verse.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 16.
Come on.
There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them.
Come on.
They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit.
Let's get Sirach chapter 11 verse 27. So brothers and sisters, yes, we have perilous times coming. All right, we got to gather together as we see the day approaching.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we got to level up and go to another level, family. All right, Sirach chapter 11, verse 27. Read this.
The book of Sirach chapter 11 and verse 27.
Come on.
The affliction of an hour, making a man forget pleasure.
Right. You know, so understanding what the Bible says, the affliction of an hour make you forget pleasure. It's not about talking. We got to get ourselves right.
That's right. That's right.
You feel what I'm saying? Working out more. It builds more discipline.
Yes, sir.
You understand? Fasting on a regular basis builds more discipline.
Right.
You understand? We got to go through these hard times. So in that day, we can pass with flying colors, because if it comes to that torture, you're not disciplining yourself now, but preparing yourself spiritually, mentally, and physically now. It's going to be very, very hard to sustain or endure, as the scripture commands us, in that day.
Right.
That's how they feel.
Right.
Because we don't bow down to them. No, we bow down to our King,
That's right.
who is Christ.
That's right.
All right, from there, give me Matthew.
Okay. Any comments on that? What you think? Got any feedback on that?
Were those like Hebrew Christians, Brother Leonard? They said
IUIC.
Oh yeah, okay, purple guy. Yeah, yes, sir. Well, they throw it off.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
And, yeah, they throw it off.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they got the ending twisted all up. make a little sense in certain areas, but yeah, okay. Think that's something. So yeah, like you just reading out of that PDF about how you made it plain who Michael is, right? And my thing is to keep on. First of all, I was talking to somebody earlier, and what we have to do as non-Messianics, the first thing is every time you see JC, you know he is false, because what they do is when they see JC, they steady trying to work him in the scriptures. So when you see JC, you know that that's Michael. Whether it's in a picture, wherever, when you see him, this the character right here that they replace Michael with. So you're actually looking at Michael. You ain't looking at him. This you know, this image they put up there, superimpose it and knock Mike off the chessboard and put him on there. So that's how, and you know, that'll help out a whole lot. Every time you see him, know that that's Michael. So anyway, and then you have to ask yourself, how did we get to this place where we at when it comes to not knowing who Michael was? So I got some examples right here. I got an example of this. It's a PDF, matter of fact. You can start reading, show you what they did. So it says, and then believe it or not, it opened up the doors for me. But it says, there it goes, Gabriel, and it says that Gabriel is the man of God. This is a Edomite name. I can't even say his name. You know, it's the Edomite name. It's Slepter or something. You know, it's Edomite. Israeli. So it says Gabriel, man of God. That's what that means. It says with Michael, Gabriel is mentioned by name in the book of Daniel, where he explains to Daniel his vision. He appears to Zacharias and announces to Mary that she is about to have a son whose name shall he call Jesus. This is one of the revelations I got, because I used to always deal with that, you know, hovering over it. But how they use Gabriel. We see Michael doing everything, you know, the lead role in the Tanakh, but all of a sudden Gabriel is the one that came to Mary, right? But we're gonna see why they got Gabriel coming to Mary in a minute. He appeared to Zacharias and announced to Mary that she is about to have a son whose name shall be called Jesus. Gabriel is one of the 4 angels that stand at the 4 sides of God's throne and serve as a guardian angel of the 4 parts of the globe. So remember that. I talked about this last night on the women's line. So 4 male angels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, and the Most High says in Ezekiel 37, come from the 4 winds. That's what we're talking about. The 4 same ones that's in the cloud with him in Ezekiel chapter 1. So it says, the 4 angels, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, who are still invoked in the evening prayer, are often mentioned together, right? It says Michael, let me get it. The 4 names are also on a golden tablet found in the tomb of the wife of the emperor, Hyrcanus, whatever it says, and you keep going. In other passages, 7 archangels are mentioned, among them Gabriel, in Tobit, chapter 7, verse 15. But he is most often mentioned together with Michael. So keep that in mind, right? The revelation in that. It says, okay, let me get it again. It says, but he is most often mentioned together with Michael, whom he follows in rank. A Gnostic gem bears the inscription in Greek, Michael the highest, Gabriel the mightiest. So we'll read that again. A Gnostic gem bears the inscription in Greek, Michael the highest, Gabriel the mightiest. You know that ain't true. Michael the mightiest. See? So the 3 angels that appeared to Abraham, check it out. The 3 angels that appeared to Abraham were Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, right? Michael, as the greatest, walked in the middle, with Gabriel on his right and Raphael on his left. Michael stands at the right hand of God, Gabriel at his left hand. Okay. Let's see. Throughout Jewish literature, this is my point. The reason why where we at today is Jewish, these Edomite literature. They turned our scriptures upside down. Throughout Jewish literature, Michael appears as an angel of a higher degree, as may be seen in the passages quoted below. Gabriel has the form of a man, and is, according to the Talmud, the man clothed with linen. So check it out. Throughout Jewish literature, Michael appears as an angel of a higher degree, as may be seen in the passages quoted below. Gabriel has the form of a man, and is, according to the Talmud, the man clothed with linen. Right? So let's look at that right quick. This is one of the Revelation. So if you go to Ezekiel chapter 9. So what the Most High doing is fine-tuning everything. Okay. So I'm in Ezekiel, right? In chapter 9. Okay. This is golden nugget. Ezekiel chapter 9, starting at verse 1. He cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near. Even every man with a strong weapon in his hand, right? Every man with a strong weapon in his hand. So the person that's crying out right here is Michael. He cried out in mine ears with a loud voice. This Michael. In verse 2. And behold, 6 men, see that? 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man with a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man, this Gabriel, right here. And one man among them clothed in linen, that's Gabriel, with a writer's inkhorn by his side, and they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. See that? So now you got 7. You got Michael in verse 1. Then you got 6 men, 5 of them with their weapon in their hand. Gabriel got the writer's inkhorn. Okay, verse 3. And the glory of the God of Israel was gone up from the cherub whereupon he was, this Lord of hosts, to the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed in linen, Gabriel, that which he had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the forehead of the man that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So you say, we see right here, you see 7. Michael is commanded, Gabriel second in charge. Michael that went to the threshold of the building, called to Gabriel. Another thing that the revelation that it was always there in the back of my head, but I just, like I said, I wait on the Most High to get to open it up for me. So, like I was saying before, you got to think about it. They all got linen on. They all got linen on. You know, back in the day, I'm saying that you saying Michael. You know, he described Michael in Daniel chapter 10. And then, but so you saying, but damn, what the other angels got on? They got on linen too. So anyway, so these nutbuckers here trying to throw in a cross when actually they're making a revelation. So we see right here that Michael went to the threshold of the building, called to Gabriel, clothed in linen, and told him to write his inkhorn. Now I'm gonna give you another example. Go to let me get it. Daniel. Go to Daniel right quick. So say most of the time they together. So Gabriel is like connected the hip to Michael. But anyway, so I'm in Daniel chapter I'm in chapter 7. This the Daniel. This the when he got the vision of the 4 beasts. and he had the vision. Now we have Daniel 7:15 when Daniel's seeking for the interpretation. Then it says, so remember how he got the vision. The angel had to enter into him. That's why the man is weak. After the angel entered into him, he had a vision. He had no longer had no strength in him. So in verse 15 it says, I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit, right? Because the angel just gave me vision in the midst of my body, and the vision of my head troubled me. Now here you go. I came near unto one of them that stood by, 7 of them. 7 there. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and I asked him the truth of all these. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of these things. These great beasts which are four kings which shall arise on the earth, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. So we know this Daniel. This is Gabriel, because he's the one revealing the information. I think it's verse chapter 8. Chapter 8 is where I want to go. Chapter 8, verse 15 says he had just the ram and the he-goat, right? So the same thing happened. He had the vision, and now verse 15 came to pass when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision, sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. Remember what he just said. Gabriel means man of God. God, man of God, right? Anyway, it says, 16, I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Uliah, which called and said to Gabriel. See that? Same thing in Ezekiel 9. Michael talking, commanding Gabriel. Here you go again right here. Verse 16, I heard a man's voice between the banks of the Uliah. So what that means, between the banks, he on the water, in the middle of the river. Got Uriel on one, Gabriel on one bank, Uriel on the other bank, Michael sitting in the middle of the water, standing on the water. And he calls to, right here, 16, and I heard a man's voice between the banks. He's standing in the middle of the river, which called and said, Gabriel. See that? Michael commanding Gabriel. Remember this. Michael command Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. And we're going to go back to Ezekiel right quick. So make this plain. Okay, so I'm in Ezekiel. Back in Ezekiel right quick. Chapter 9. And he says, chapter 9, verse 1. He cried him out, this Michael. He cried also in my ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near. There's 6 angels, every man with his strong weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came. That's the other 6 angels, right? Who came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north. And every man with his sworn weapon in his hand, and one among them was clothed in linen with a writer's inkhorn by his side, and they went in and stood beside it. For one of them got an inkhorn that gave. Then here you go. 3. And the glory of the Lord of Israel was gone up from the cherubim, whereupon he was in the threshold of the house, and he called, same thing he just done over here. He called to the man called the linen Gabriel, which had the writer's inkhorn in his hand, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the forehead of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that are done here. So we see right here. 9 right up. Any comments so far?
Making sense.
Okay, so we're gonna keep going. So they just said that Gabriel and Michael, they connected up to here. Yeah, we see it in Daniel 10 too. Remember, Gabriel told Daniel that me and Michael are the only 2 looking on the book. Okay, so remember that. So anyway, it says, through our Jewish literature, Michael appears as an angel of a higher degree, as may be seen in the passage quoted below. Gabriel has the form of a man, and according to Tomar, the man clothed with linen mentioned, right? Okay, so we keep going. Michael, here you go. Here go where the cook we can come in at, right? It says, Michael is snow, Gabriel is fire. Is that true?
No, sir.
Okay. Michael fire, right?
Right. Consuming fire.
Right, because he the one that was on Mount Horeb, right? And then did on the bush.
Right.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now here go the hoodwinking. Nevertheless, it is the Prince of Fire and not the Prince of Ice that is commissioned to rescue Abraham, as well as Hannah, Meshach, and Azariah from the fiery furnace. So now they're saying that it was Gabriel. Gabriel is the one that came in the fiery furnace and rescued Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. See that? See, in a single passage only, Michael is called the Prince of Fire, and Gabriel is the Prince of Water. As the Prince of Fire, Gabriel is also the Prince of ripening of fruits. As an angel representing an element of nature, he is also connected with metals. Gabriel is gold. Okay, color of fire. Michael is silver. They don't even add up, dog. Uriel is copper. Okay, anyway, Gabriel, girded like a metal worker, shows Moses how to make the candlestick. He has wings like all the angels. But while Michael reaches the earth in one flight, Gabriel requires two. Okay, then it says that here go the activities and their qualities. Michael and Gabriel often work together. Okay, but while Michael, as the guardian angel of Israel and high priest of heaven, is more occupied in heaven, Gabriel is the messenger. Check it out. Check this out. But while Michael, as the guardian angel of Israel and high priest of heaven, is more occupied in heaven, Gabriel is the messenger of God who execute God's will on the earth. Is that the truth?
No.
Right, exactly. It says in heaven, Gabriel is set over the serpents and over paradise and the cherubim. Say each of the 4 divisions of the 12 tribes of Israel had his guardian angel, namely Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, respectively. Michael and Gabriel defend Israel against its accusers and pray in general for the human race and for Israel deliverance from captivity. They defended Israel when God orders, get ugly. It says they defend Israel when God orders the temple to be burned. Gabriel destroys the bastards. With the other 3 archangels, he seizes Simjaza and his companions, cast them in the fire. He will make war upon the Leviathan. He leads the souls into the body of the pious. So we see right here how they switch it around. Got Gabriel doing all of Michael's roles. These Edomites doing this in these Jewish encyclopedias and all that. They flipped it around. That's why Michael is in Revelation, Matthew, coming to Mary. But anyway, in addition to the casting mentioned above, Gabriel frequently acts as God's instrument. See that? Now this is a lie from pits of hell. In addition to the cases mentioned above, Gabriel frequently acts as God's instrument. That's a lie. After appearing to Abraham with the other 2 angels, he went to destroy it. So this is Gabriel. Check it out. They flipped it over. After appearing to Abraham with the other 2 angels, he went to destroy Solomon and save Lot. It's Gabriel. Satan, Samuel, desiring that Tamar might be burned and that David might not be her descendant, removed the signs by means of which she afterward proved her innocence. Okay, Gabriel having restored them, Gabriel taught Joseph. Look it up. Gabriel taught Joseph the 70 languages of the world. He led Jochebed to Abraham. When the handmaidens of Pharaoh's daughter wished to dissuade her from saving Moses, Gabriel struck them down. And when Solomon married a daughter of one of the Pharaohs, Gabriel thrust a reed into the sea. Mud gathered around it, and Rome was built on that site. He closed the gates behind. This was interesting to me right here. He closed the gates behind Shebna, mentioned in Isaiah 22:15, and slew Sennacherib. Fortunately for Israel, he hindered Nebuchadnezzar from worshiping God. Taking fire from the hand of the cherubim, he threw it upon the temple and the city. He put a ink mark upon the foreheads of the pious. We just read that, and one of blood upon that of the pious. Okay, he prevented Queen Vesta from appearing before Azariah. He rewrote the story of the services rendered by Mordecai to the king, the record of which Shushazar had destroyed. He struck down the judges who refused to side with Simon against King Alexander Janus. The foregoing description of Gabriel shows no details that need to be regarded as having been borrowed from Pharisees or other sources. Gabriel disputes like a scribe with Michael as to the stone indicated by Cadka. Okay. Michael and Gabriel are like the Shemites, and in contrast to later Christianity, Judaism entirely forbade the worship of angels. Though this view was modified in the Middle Ages, Gabriel also plays an important role in Bachelinium Gem in the magic Kabbalism, right? The papyrus among the Christians and among the Mohammedans. In Christianity, as in Judaism, Gabriel stands nearest to Michael, but does not equal him in rank. Okay? Gabriel still lives in the imagination of the Jewish, the Christian, and the Mohammedan people. Okay, yeah, that's it. So what you think? Okay, you got a little more.
Evil scribe.
Yeah, they flip it around.
Man, that made me mad, man, for real.
And that's,
for real, man.
Okay, so here's some Arabic literature. Gabriel, under the name of Jibreel, is mentioned by name in 2 passages in the Quran. Let me get on down here. As a messenger of God, Gabriel assists in creation of Adam by gathering under divine orders all kinds of clay from which the first man's body was fashioned. After their expulsion from paradise, it was he who took pity on Adam and Eve, bringing to them the small sack of wheat. He taught them how to sow and cultivate grain. He also gave Adam an ox wherewith to plow. Okay. Tabrah further ascribes to him the transmission to Adam of the knowledge of making fire by striking stone and iron together. When Abraham was to be thrown into the fierce fire prepared for him by Nimrod, Gabriel intervened. Abraham, who was shot into the air by catapult, okay, would have fallen into the flames had the angel had not held him in the midst of the air. Okay, yeah. So this is how Gabriel got to the point where he at today was through these Jewish literature. When they got hold of our records, they voided out Michael, took him out of his role. And evidently this had to happen before what happened with Constantine, because when Constantine got on the scene and they turned Serapis into JC, then they put JC and just went back to the Tanakh and just put JC where Michael was at. Superimposed him over Michael.
Shalom.
Yeah.
Excuse me, yes, sir. That makes sense. To look at, because I'm sure when they looked at our real text, obviously it's saying the Lord of Hosts' real name. However you say Michael, real language. So they're looking at it like, so this the person we have to denigrate.
Right.
We got split up.
Right.
So
this is what they call it.
Look
as powerful. Right. Say when
Wait,
they call him, he come.
Right. Yes, sir. Right.
Mhm.
Right. Cause I was reading something the other day, or maybe it was today. It had said whoever it was that prayed said it. It didn't say blink of an eye. It said it however you say it in those times, but it said within the second, as soon as he prayed,
Right.
then the Lord of hosts appeared.
Right. And especially if you was lined up. If you, like David said, if you was walking in righteousness and called him, he showed up.
Right. Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
Right. So we see right here how they did that. They just flipped over and put Gabriel. That's how Gabriel ended up in the Matthew in the New Testament dealing with. They denigrated Michael. So now he's the one that said that dealing with them on the earth, dealing with mankind, but it's Michael. Okay. So did anybody on here see the women's line last night?
No, I didn't. I don't know what the name of the channel is.
It's Israel Wake Up.
Israel Wake Up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start at 7.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you watch it? Did you listen to any of it, AJ?
Yes, sir. I didn't finish all of it up until the lesson portion, but
right.
Right where I finished off, you started talking about I probably made it in the 15 minutes of when you started talking about David Icke and the humanoids. That's
okay,
that's,
yeah. That was the video I had was lizard people.
Right.
The rulers of time and space. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't hear none of that about Naomi, right?
No, sir. I just heard you mention it when you started class, but I didn't make it to that portion.
Right. I'm gonna read it. Some of it right here. Yeah, like you saw what they just done with Michael, but I want to show you this here reason why. When you look at where the world is right now, even with what happened with Solomon, when you understand how Solomon started out, and how he was the Most High endowed him with wisdom and knowledge and all that, then how he ended up with all these women, right? So, but check it out. It says, it's crazy right here. It says, introducing Naamah, the mother of all demons, right? Okay, kind of like we just doing a rough view of what we did last night. It says, four demonic mothers are mentioned in the Jewish mystical and Kabbalistic text. Lilith, Naamah, Ygritte, and Maklit. Only one of these, however, is dubbed the mother of all demons, right? And described as the mother of Ashemida, the prince of demons. This would be the figure named Naamah, which happens to be a fairly common name among the women in modern Israel. So all these women today, over there, the Israelis, most of the women, they cherish his name, Naamah. So that'll tell you something right there. But do anybody know who Naamah is? Familiar with Naamah?
Right. Yeah. I know, Brother Leonard, in the King James, they like Lamech. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, Lamech, Naamah's connected. He's his daughter. Naamah's his daughter. But I do remember that it's two different Naamahs. Like the Naamah that they led us to believe that's the Naamah that Noah married, but he actually married Enoch's daughter.
Yeah, Enoch had a daughter named Naamah, right? So it's two Naamahs, just like it's two Enochs, it's two Lamechs, okay, two Methuselahs, okay. So that's Samuel that work. So anyway, it says her name first appears in the 4th chapter of the book of Genesis. The text describes her as the daughter of Lamech, sister of Tubal-Cain. Watch how they hook wink it. a mother of a dynasty that originated with the infamous Cain, who murdered his brother and continued with Enoch, himself a fascinating figure who was, so they trying to link Cain to Enoch, like we just said, it's to Enoch. They trying to link him to the righteous Enoch. Was no more, for God took him, who is sometimes associated with the angel Metatron. Like Enoch and the rest of his family, not much is written about Nehemiah in the Bible, a fact that has enhanced the sense of mystery surrounding her figure, and which led storytellers through the ages to embellish her character with various biographical details. According to one Midrash, this is Edomite literature, the Midrash, Naomi was the wife of Noah. That's a lie. Another interpretation has her as the wife of one of his sons. Yet other traditions identify Naomi with another woman altogether. We will return to this later, right? So keep going for a minute. Okay, it says, in the same Midrash that mentions the marriage of Naomi, sister of Tubal-Cain, to Noah, the sages, these Edomites too, also give two seemingly contradictory origins of Naomi's name. Some believe that the name was given to her because all her deeds were pleasant, while the other interprets her name as she who beat on a drum. This is a nugget right here, who beats on a drum to draw people to idol worship. Okay, then another Midrash states that Naomi was beautiful and she was responsible for the incident mentioned in Genesis 6. The sons of God saw that the daughters of the humans were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves, whomsoever they chose. In other words, claims the Midrash, Naomi was one of the daughters of humans that caused the angels to descend to the earth and to fornicate with them. Her demonic character appears more clearly in the Zohar Hadash. That's another Edomite book, right? Yasak, the Edomite, said, why is it written? Why is it written? And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naomi, right? So let's keep on. Rabbi Abu said the simple sense of the scriptures indicate that she was learned, and check it out. It's a nugget. Let's go to nugget. The simple sense of scriptures indicate that she was learned in metalworking. Remember Tubal-Cain? He was taught metalworking. What he's telling us right here, not only did Tubal-Cain learn metalworking, she did too. It says the simple sense of scriptures indicate that she was learned in metalworking like her brother Tubal-Cain, as implied by what is written. He was a progenitor of every implement of bronze and iron, and the sister of Tubal-Cain. It says Naomi, he invented his craft, and his sister was with him, as it is written. And the sister of Tubal-Cain, Naomi, she was skilled like he was, and and the sister joined in the preceding statement. So this rabbi says she was the mother of demons. She bore them for look, the mother of Ashadami, king of demons, in the name of Naomi, right? So you familiar with that Ashmedai? AJ, you familiar with that name? Ashmedai. That's the angel that was attacking Tobit.
The one that kept killing the husbands.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's
right.
him.
Okay, right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
right.
yeah, just trying to make you get you familiar with it. Anyway, so it says, eventually there were two different traditions concerning the character of the biblical figure Naomi. The difficulty here is clear. It is, after all, impossible that Noah, a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, would marry a woman who became the mother of demons, adding to the difficulty in the fact that in characters 4 and 5 of the book of Genesis are two different lineages in which the names of Enoch and Lamech appear. Noah himself, according to the book of Genesis, is the son of Lamech, which, as we recall from the verses mentioned above, is the name of Naaman's father. Apparently, it was difficult to reconcile the tradition. Hence, its later versions, the character split. And so Noah married another Naaman, the daughter of Enoch, is what we just said. A much more logical relationship given the sacred nature contributed to Enoch over time. She is said to be the only woman in the generation of the flood to maintain her purity. If so, are these really two sides to the same Naaman or no? Or are these two different women called Naaman? Yeah. One pleasant and the other idolatrous. One of the righteous women and one of a beautiful temptress. We have no definite answer for now, so we will continue to examine this, right? So we know that's he trying to cause confusion. So as we mentioned above, the demonic Naaman is called the mother of demons, and she is identified in particular as the mother of Ashamedia. Over the stories give other genealogical details. Sometimes Naaman is a wife of a king named Shamdam, and sometimes of other demons. Sometimes she is mother of Ashamedia, and sometimes of demons with different names. In any case, her name appears in quite a few genealogies of demons, such as Hanag begot little Hanag and took as his wife Naaman, and she gave birth to Belek, and ruled from the seed of Ashmedina in the year 4,840. Okay, so we can go demo. We'll start chopping it up. Okay, it says, here we go right here. This is the part I want to shine a light on. I was talking earlier. I said when you see JC, know that that's Michael. You got to get that in your head, thinking like a Hebrew. When you see JC anywhere, know that that's Michael. So if you want to break whatever it is you see, the image or whatever, you want to break that image or that picture down, know that Jesus is Michael. So here we go again right here, talking about Ezekiel. I talked about this when we first got on the line. The four spirits from the four winds, the Most High said, come from the four corners of the earth, four winds. That's Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. So when you start dealing with the New Testament, which comes from these Edomites, they ain't talking about Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. This is what they talk about right here. So we have a tradition that four women. Remember what did happen in the world with the women. Okay, we have a tradition that four women became mothers of demons. They were Lilith, Naamah, Ygritte, and Maggot. Each one of them deposes of a whole camp of followers, and a spiritually negative aura emanates from them all. It is said that each one of them is dominant during one of the 4 seasons of the year, and that they gather at the mountain of Nephil. This mountain is located near the mountains called Hashanah, darkness, and each one holds a sway during one of the 4 seasons of the year, from sundown until midnight, and they all and all the members of their respective camps. The gathering of the mountain is perhaps reminiscent of the story from European folklore about witches, who gather from communal celebrations at certain times of the year. Interestingly, the sages did divide the year into 4 periods, beginning in the month of Tisha, Tevat, Nishan, and Tomaz. However, I have not been able to determine which demon is responsible for which period. Naamah and Lilith appear quite often side by side in various writings. Like Lilith, Naamah's main task, here you go, like I was saying by Solomon, right? Remember how Solomon started out. But look at this. Naamah's main task was to seduce men in their dreams. In addition, she was Lilith's accomplice in strangling babies. It is said that Naamah ball was in the deep depth of the sea. For example, in the Book of Mirrors, right? And Nama exists to this day and dwells in the depths of the great sea and emerges and rifles with humans and seduces them in their dreams. And from there, she was set off on her night journeys into the minds of humans. Okay, see that? So when they say, when you're dealing with them, they say, come from the four winds. This is what they talking about. Okay? Let that permeate. But anyway, like I said, now, to me, this make a lot of sense how Solomon went to the left. Okay? But anyway, yeah, so any comments on that? What you think?
Shalom to Brother Leonard. That makes sense. When you said how you see how Solomon went to the left, especially because we know like those spirits, they know who Solomon is, especially like he's David's son.
Right.
You know, so I mean they definitely know who he is and would know to torment him.
Right. And then how did he get from where he was at to lusting after all these women?
Right. And
yeah,
because he's praying for the wisdom.
Yeah, it makes sense now because now, yeah. So like I was saying before, they didn't evoke the. So you got to go back to the book of Enoch. Remember what the angels taught them how to make those amulets and all that.
Right. Brother Leonard, I was gonna say that it reminds me of today. A lot of women today
still doing that.
Right, with the chakras and all that
right.
stuff.
Exactly, still doing it.
Right.
Exactly. And they say they're not talking about it, but they all over, especially all over the Middle East and all over that region over there. They've been digging up amulets all over the place with these women names on them. So they was evoking them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said, I'm just putting information out there. You know, you gotta ride with it, do with it what you want. I'm just putting it out there. So this is why. And then remember in the book of Adam and Eve, when Jared was on the mountain. Where did those demons come from? About the water, right?
Right. Yes, sir. That the one they mentioned them in Jasher too.
Right. And they said he said Jared asked him, where you come from? And then they said, he said, we got our own world. Then he said, we want to take you to our world. So evidently they came up out the water. That's where their world at. See what I'm saying? In the depths of the sea. Well, yeah,
right.
Look at from yeah. So anyway, so then I want to deal with one more thing. Then we'll close out. I was in the book of Daniel. Just something to think about, man. Check this out. I was reading this first of the week, and I said what I was going to do was hold it and then deal with it on the men's line. Let me get it right quick. Give me a minute. Okay. I read some of the other night how that okay. Okay. Thank you. Daniel chapter 5. Yeah, chapter 5. I'm gonna start reading. In chapter 5, this Belteshazzar, right? So remember what the Most High Lord of Hosts told Jeremiah to tell the Israelites, say, y'all, you're going into captivity, serve Nebuchadnezzar, serve his son and his grandson. Well, we in chapter 5 right here. Belteshazzar, that's his grandson. So we know if you're dealing with Belteshazzar, they at the end of the 70 years. So I'm gonna start reading. It says Belteshazzar, Belteshazzar the king made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords and to drink wine before them, right? Belteshazzar, while he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the golden and the silver vessels, which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple, which was in Jerusalem, that the king and his princes and his wives and his concubines might drink therein. So he drank it out of these golden vessels that the Most High had Moses to get the Israelites to fashion to use in the temple when they worship him. Now he got them and he wants to drink out of them, right? Then that they might, then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of God, which was in Jerusalem, and the king and his princes and his wives and his concubines drank in them. And they drank wine, and they praised the gods of gold, and of silver, and of brass, and iron, and wood, and stone. It says, in the same hour came forth finger of a man's hand, and wrote over against the candlestick upon the plaster of the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw part of a hand that wrote. Then the king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that his joints of his loins were loosened, and that his knees smote one against another. And the king cried aloud to bring in the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers. And the king spake and said to the wise men of Babylon, whoever shall read the writing and show me the interpretation thereof shall be clothed with scarlet and have a chain of gold about his neck, and shall be third ruler in the kingdom. This is my point. That's why I want you to, you know, that when he made Joseph second in command, right?
Right, yes, sir.
Made Mordecai second in command. He always bringing them to second in command. Never make them the ruler or the king. He always make them second in command, right?
Right, like himself.
But here we go, right here. Check this out. The king cried aloud to bring in the astrologers and the Chaldeans and the soothsayers, and the king spake and said to the wise men of Babylon, whosoever shall read this writing and show me the interpretation thereof shall be clothed with scarlet and have a chain of gold about his neck, now, and shall be the third, see that? The third ruler in the kingdom, right? Then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writings nor make known to the king the interpretation thereof. Then was the king Belshazzar greatly troubled, and his countenance was changed in him, and his lords were astonished. Now the queen, by reason of the words of the king and his lords, came into the banquet hall, and the queen spake and said, O king, live forever. Let not thy thoughts trouble thee, nor let thy countenance be changed. There is a man in thy kingdom, in whom is the spirit of the holy gods, and in the days of thy father light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods, was found in him, whom the king Nebuchadnezzar, thy father, the king, thy father made master over all of the musicians, astrologers, Chaldeans, and soothsayers. For as much as the excellent spirit and knowledge and understanding, interpreting of dreams and showing of hard sentences and dissolving of doubt were found in the same Daniel, whom the king named Belshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, and he will show the interpretation. Then was Daniel brought in before the king, and the king spake and said unto Daniel, Art thou that Daniel which are of the children of the captivity of Judah? Okay. Whom the king my father brought out of Jewry. I have even heard of thee, that the spirit of the gods is in thee, and that light and understanding and excellent wisdom is found in thee. And now the wise men, the astrologers, have been brought in before me, and they should read this writing and make known unto me the interpretation thereof, but they could not show the interpretation of this thing. And I have heard thee, and I heard of thee, that thou canst speak, make interpretations, and dissolve doubt. Now, if thou canst read the writings and make known to me the interpretation thereof, Thou shalt be clothed with a scarlet, and have a chain put about thy neck, and thou shalt be the third, to that, ruler in the kingdom. Then 17. Then Daniel answered and said before the king, let thy gods be to thyself, and give thy reward to another. Yet I will read the writings unto the king, and make known to him the interpretation. O thou king, the most high God gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father a kingdom, and majesty, and glory, and honor. And for the majesty that he gave him, all people, nations, and languages trembled and feared before him, whom he would be slew, and whom he would be kept alive, and whom he would be set up, and whom he would be put down. But when his heart was lifted up, and his mind hardened in pride, he was disposed from his kingly throne, and it took his glory from him. And he was driven from the sons of men, and his heart was made like a beast, and his dwelling was with the wild asses, and they fed him with grass like an oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till he knew that the Most High God ruled in the kingdom of men, and that he appointed over it whomsoever he will. And thou, his son, O Belteshazzar, that hast not humbled thine heart, though thou knowest all this, but hast lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords, thy wives, and thy concubines have drunk wine in them, and thou hast praised the gods of silver and gold, and brass, and iron, and wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know, and the God in whose hand thy breath is, and whose are all the ways, whose all thy ways hast thou not rejected or glorified. Then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Mina, Tika, Option, whatever that word is. And this is the interpretation of the thing. Mina, God have numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Tika, thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. Pires, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Then commanded Belteshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with a scarlet, and put a chain upon it, put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. Okay, and then it says, in that night, Belteshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, was slain, and Darius the Mede took the kingdom, being about 2 years old. Okay, so right here in this verse 31, it says Darius the Mede, right? So what you gotta understand is there's two Dariuses, right? You got Cyrus came, so you got the bow. When you said it was leaning on his side, had 2 fish in his mouth, so that was like that symbolized the 2 Medes and the Persians. Well, the first king that came that did away with Belteshazzar was Darius the Mede. You also got a Darius the Persian. Let me show you that right quick. And when you understand it, you can see what they did to the scripture. So look at Daniel chapter 11. It says, also I in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I stood and confirmed and strengthened him. And then you go to when Alexander came, right? Alexander fought against Darius. He was a Persian. So he had named himself after this Darius right here. But anyway, so in 31 it says, Darius the Mede took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. Then we start in verse 6, chapter 6. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 100. Check it out. This the part right here was big. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom. So remember, he got 120 providences. So he got 120 princes, one over each providence. Verse 2. And the other of these, these three presidents. So over, like I was telling you earlier about the fallen angels, they was all leaders. Some over 10, some over 100, some over 1,000. So right here, you got 120 princes. Verse 2. Over the 120 princes, he got 3 presidents. See that? Over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was the first, counsel that the princes might give account unto them, and the king should have no damage. So you got 120 princes and 3 presidents over them, and Daniel was the first, or Daniel the first one of all of them. So then 3. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes because of the excellent spirit that was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents, check it out, then the presidents and the princes. So the other 2 presidents and 120 princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none accusation nor fault. For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against Daniel, except we find it against him according to the law of his God. Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said thus to him, King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors, and the princes, the counselors, and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute, to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into den of lions. Now, O king, establish the decree, sign the writings that be not changed according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which alter not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and a decree. Now, when Daniel knew that the writings were signed, he went into his house, and his window being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God. And he did oftentimes. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? And the king answered and said, the thing is true. Check it out. According to the law of the Medes and Persians, which alter not. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regarded not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him, and he labored to the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king, and said unto the king, Know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel, cast him into the den of lions. Now king spake and said unto Daniel, Thy God, whom thou servest continuously, he will deliver thee. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither were instruments of music brought before him, and the sleep went from him. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste into the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said unto Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God whom thou servest continually able to deliver thee from the lions? Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. Okay, here we go. It says, my God has sent his angel and have shut the lion's mouth, that they have not hurt me, for as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Then was the king exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God. And the king commanded, and they brought, check this out, and the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions. Check it out, den of lions. Them, their children, and their wives, and the lions made mastery of them, and break all their bones in pieces, or ever they came at the bottom of the den. Then King Darius wrote unto all the people, nations and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God, and steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. He delivered and rescued, and he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and in the earth, who have delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. See that? The reign of Darius. Darius is a Mede, and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. Then after Cyrus passed away, Darius the Persian came on the throne. So it's two Darius. But anyway, when I was reading this, I just happened to start reading it. And is this not the same thing they're doing right now with the Project 2025? The same thing the presidents and the 120 princes did. They found a way to backdoor it. They didn't attack Daniel directly. They went and got the king and made a decree saying that if anybody in 30 days worship any god except him, then they're gonna, they have to be thrown in the lions in. The whole time they didn't go to get the decree specifically and put Daniel in it, because they know the king wouldn't go for it. They sideboarded it, but the whole time it's directly or point toward Daniel to throw Daniel on the cross. They're doing the same thing now. We're in the midst of the same thing. They make it look like it's about the migrants, but it ain't about the migrants, but the Most High people. And we're gonna see that unfold here real soon. Any comments, questions?
Shalom, Brother Leonard. That comparison makes a lot of sense. And while you were reading, I was thinking that I'm like, really, they set the king up, because in verse 15 it says they had said to the king that no decree nor statute that the king established can be changed, and they knew that. So they had to get him to go ahead and make it a law. He couldn't take it back.
Right. The whole thing was about Daniel. They didn't put Daniel in when they addressed the king. They didn't have Daniel in nowhere. But the whole thing was about Daniel.
Right. And you comparing that to today, just for people who listen, Brother Leonard, the how Trump's talking about with the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment is what Brother Leonard is talking about.
Right. And it's all about us. And that's how it's gonna end up. But they try to make it out like it's something else. They got something else going on, but it's about slowly see it unfolding. Everything points toward us as Israelites, African American. Okay. Everybody good on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got a scripture. Somebody got a scripture they want to read? You got a scripture or you want to read, or you can break it down?
Oh yes, sir. Can in Jasher, what's this? In Jasher 36.
Okay.
This actually match up with Genesis 36, but they left some of this out. But then it's probably about 8 verses, but this was dealing with Esau's lineage. And it says I'm trying to think where I should start. 25. Okay, it says in verse 25, in the families of Korah were Teman, Mitzbar, Magiel, Aram, and these were the families of the sons of Esau according to their dukedoms in the land of Seir. And these are the names of the sons of Seir the Horite, inhabitants of the land of Seir: Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishan, Ezer, Dishan, being 7 sons. And the children of Lot were Horah, Heman, and their sister Timnah, who came to Jacob and his sons that they would not give ear to her. And she went and became a concubine to Eliphaz, the son of Esau, and she bare to him Amalek. And the sons of Shobal were Arvin, Manahath, Ebal, Shepho, Onam, and the sons of Zibeon were Asia and Anah. This was that Anah who found Yanim in the wilderness when he fed the asses of Zibeon his father. And while as he was feeding his father's asses, he led them to the wilderness at different times to feed them. And there was a day he brought them to one of the deserts on the seashore, opposite of the wilderness of the people. And while as he was feeding them, behold, a very heavy storm came from the other side of the sea that rested upon the asses that were feeding there, and they all stood still. And afterward, about 120 great and terrible animals came out of the wilderness at the other side of the sea, and they all came to the place where the asses were, and they placed themselves there. And those animals from the middle downward were in the shape of the children of men, and from their middle upward, some had the likeness of bears, and some had the likeness of kephas, with tails behind them from between their shoulders, reaching down to the earth like the tails of the Duchipath. And these animals came and mounted and rode upon the asses and led them away, and they went away unto this day. And one of these animals approached Anah and smote him with his tail, and then fled from that place. And when he saw this work, he was exceedingly afraid for his life, and he fled, escaped away. But shalom. Yes, sir. That's in Jasher 36 and 25 through 34. But when you was talking about those sea creatures, Brother Leonard, it reminded me of this verse.
Exactly. Right. You notice what he said. They was at they came from by the sea.
Right.
Right. And then I think we watched a couple of videos on there. There's one guy, he got a channel on talking about what a satire is, and how they look, and that's what Esau was in a marrying with.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, I'm gonna find that channel again, because the guy he had a lot of good information on it.
Yeah, yes, sir. I actually tried to find his channel the other day. I wonder if he got banned or not, because I was actually trying to find that Esau video about the satyrs, and I couldn't find his channel, but I have to do some more digging.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I need to find that myself. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so anybody else? I mean, is everybody good? Nobody got anything else they want to chop up before we go? We are 2 hours. Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna say shalom, shalom, and another shalom. We got our morning Shabbat class in the morning at 10 to 12. I see everybody then. Shalom, shalom, and another shalom.
Shalom, everybody.
Shalom, brothers.
I highly recommend that you get this book and you read it, because it's a must that you understand who God head is in the order that's in the Old Testament and Tanakh, because it's not the same as in the New Testament. And when you read this and you get an understanding, then the scriptures open up, and then you begin to understand. So I highly recommend that you get this book. It's the Elohim of Israel, and it's a breakdown on the word Elohim and who the God of Israel is, and the Godhead.